Hey guys, what's going on? Excuse me. Derek here with the Park 75 amplifier. This time we're running through the Brit channel on the Pod HD500 by Line 6. I'm just going to do a slight little demo for this thing and give you a slight overview of how it sounds and how some of the features work. Let me tell you about my setup here. I'm using, as far as guitar goes, a Line 6 Varix 300, and it's completely stock. No tweaks have been made to it. Running straight into my pod, and the pod running straight into my interface. And on my interface, the EQ is set completely flat, so there's no post EQ or no editing done to this at all. So, and I don't edit my videos because I want you to hear what this thing sounds like out of the box. And so anyway, without further ado, let's talk about some of the settings I have on the pod. I'm running every single amp through the 2x12 PhD ported cabinet with the 57 on axis and the room turned all the way down. On the amp parameters, down here, the only thing I changed, I turned the hum all the way down, and in the cab parameters, the only thing I changed is the thump is all the way up. Keeping that in mind, let's hear how this thing sounds. I'm going to play on the Strat sound for now, and then I'll go to some different guitars later on in the video. So let's hear how it sounds. Alright, tested the drive at 30. Let's hear what it sounds like at about 50. Nope, guitar came unplugged. Alright, now let's hear the drive at 70. And I'm going to bring the volume up a little bit on the amplifier. Using the controller menu. This allows me to be able to use the expression pedal as a volume pedal without having to take up an effects block. So that's a pretty clever little trick, wouldn't you say? Alright, now let's hear the drive on 100. Alright, I want to bring the gain down a little bit, maybe around 60. Might as well drop it back down to 50. I want to bring the bass down a little bit. Alright, with the gain right about there, in fact, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more, maybe down to 40. I want to hear it with some different guitars, so let's hear it with the Strat model. Now let's hear that with the Tilly. Now let's hear that with a Les Paul. Alright, so going back to the Strat model, let's hear what some of these amp parameters do. The master control works just like the master volume on your amplifier. The lower the setting, sorry about that. The lower the setting, the less volume you have, but also the less distortion you have, because the master volume isn't really a volume control here on the pod. It's actually more of a distortion control, but for power amp distortion. So let's just hear what that sounds like on 50, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. The sound, the volume went down, and also the drive went down as well. And let's crank the drive back, or the master back up to 70. Alright, I'm going to crank it back up to 100. I might actually bring that master down a little bit for this amp. Maybe about 80. Sounds pretty good to me. I might even bring the drive up with it. Maybe about 50 or so. Alright, now let's mess with the sag control. The sag is what gives you that classic tube amp feel, and different variations of it. So a little bit more to the right is a more vintage amp sound. A little bit more to the left is a more modern amp sound. So let's hear what it sounds like 50%. And let's hear it. Let's hear it at 0. And let's hear it on 100. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at 0. And the hum control we're going to skip because it really doesn't do anything but make noise. The bias control, let's hear what that sounds like at 50. And let's turn the bias all the way down. let's hear the bias full blast. I kind of liked it at a lower setting, but maybe not quite to 100. Let's hear it about 27. And the biased excursion, let's hear that at 50. And here's the bias excursion on 0. All right, and bias excursion on 100%. I kind of like it there. I'm going to keep it there. Might bring it down just a little bit. Alright, let's mess some of these cab parameters. The low cut really comes in handy if you've got a low tuned or an extended range guitar, or just any guitar that's extremely bassy. I'm going to go to the Les Paul model on the Vari-X now and go to the neck position and kind of show you what I'm talking about and how you can use the low cut to clean up a very bassy sounding guitar. Alright, so let's hear the low cut up a little bit. Might even turn up a little bit more than that. Alright, second really come in handy if you're finding your guitar is a little too bassy. So let's hear the resonance level. Here it is at 50. Here it is at 0. And here it is on 100. Careful, it's a little loud. Alright, this is way too loud. Alright, the thump control. This helps give your guitar a little bit more meat, a little bit more bottom end. And since this isn't in the preamp section of the amplifier, it's not affecting the distortion, so it's not going to give you that real muddy low end distortion. So, but let's just hear what it sounds like. Here it is at 50. I'm sorry, that's what it sounds like at 100. This is what it sounds like at 50. And And here it is at 0. Alright, I'm going to crank it back up to 100. Alright, the decay knob, I don't really hear a lot of difference that it makes, so I'm not really going to mess with it. Let's mess with some overdrive pedals and distortions, starting with the boost comp. The boost comp is great for giving you kind of a second channel feel for your amplifier. It kind of builds on what you already have without imposing a lot of real heavy mid-range or anything like that. It doesn't really sound like a distortion pedal. It just sounds like you crank the gain up on your amp. So here it is with it, or without it. Here it is with it. Turn that treble down just a little bit. I'll turn the treble up a little bit more than that. Alrighty, so that's the boost comp. Let's mess around with some different overdrive pedals. I'm not going to do the DOD pedal because I don't really think it sounds all that good. Let's just start with the tube drive. Alright, now let's hear it with the tube screamer. Alright, now let's hear it with the classic distortion. Going to bring the drive down, the output up, and the filter up. Alright guys, that's the Park 75 in the Brit channel, also known as the Brit P-45. This has been fun. It's been real, it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. Nah, it's been a blast. I'm enjoying making these videos. Anyway, this has been the Line 6 Pod HD500. I really hope you're enjoying these videos. If you like this patch, you can download it along with my others in the custom tone on Line 6's website. If you look in the info box, I've included a link to all my patches, and I really hope you enjoy it. And yeah, so you can take it and tweak it to match your guitar and tweak to your heart's delight. I hope you enjoy this, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching, and God bless you.